How to create a modern navigation menu in Excel so you can move between any worksheet in your file much more easily. This is especially useful when your workbook has many tabs at the bottom. Besides making navigation easier, it also gives your file a much more professional look. It can even make your spreadsheet feel more like a website, a dashboard, or a system interface. So let's build this step by step. The first thing you need to do is create one extra worksheet. This new sheet will become your homepage or main menu. Go to any sheet tab at the bottom of Excel and click the plus sign to add a new sheet. Now click the new sheet tab, hold the mouse button, drag it all the way to the left and drop it there so it becomes the first sheet in the workbook. After that, right-click the sheet tab, click rename, and type something like home menu or main menu, then press enter. This new sheet will be the page where we create all the buttons that will take us to the other tabs in the workbook. Now let's create the background. You can go to Google and search for something like abstract background and choose an image that looks good for your menu screen. Once you find an image you like, press Windows Shift S to open the screen snipping tool. Then click, hold and drag to capture the part of the image you want. Go back to Excel and press Ctrl V to paste the screenshot into the worksheet. If the image looks too small, click one of the corners handles, hold and drag outward to enlarge it and cover more of the screen. If the image becomes a little stretched, that's okay, you can soften the effect. Right-click the image and choose Format Picture. On the panel at the right, go to the Picture options, then open Picture Corrections. Here you can reduce sharpness a little to create a softer, slightly blurred background that usually hides distortions and gives the menu a clear look. You can also adjust contrast, color temperature, and saturation until the image looks the way you want. Once the background looks good, go to the View tab and uncheck Grid Lines, so the worksheet lines disappear. Now we can start building the title. Go to Insert, then Shapes, and choose a rectangle. Click, hold, and drag in the middle of the screen to create the shape. Resize and position it where you want the title to appear, then double-click inside the rectangle and type your title, for example, Welcome. Now select the text, go to the Home tab, increase the font size, center text, and apply any font style you like. At this point, the rectangle still has a fill color and an outline, so let's remove both. With the shape selected, go to Shape Format, click Shape Outline, and then choose No Outline. Then click Shape Fill and choose No Fill. Now only the text remains visible. If the text bends too much with the background, you can add a shadow. With the text selected, go to Shape Format, then Text Effects, then Shadow, and choose a shadow style. If needed, you can also add a text outline to make the title easier to read. Now that the main title is ready, let's create a subtitle or a short description below it. Click the title shape to select the full object, press Ctrl C to copy it, then Ctrl V to paste it. Drag the new copy slightly downward, resize it so it becomes smaller, and also reduce the font size. Then replace the text with something like, choose an option below to navigate through the workbook. If you want the sentence to appear on two lines, click where you want to the line break and press enter. Now we have a title and a short message on our menu page. Let's create the navigation buttons. Go to Insert, then Shapes, and this time choose a rounded rectangle. Click, hold, and drag to draw the button. If you want the corners to be more or less rounded, click the small yellow handle on the shape and drag it left or right. Place the first button where you want it, usually on the left side of the screen, and resize it until it looks good. Now think about how many buttons you need. Basically, you need one button for each worksheet you want to open from the menu. Before duplicating the buttons, let's format the first one. Double-click inside the rounded rectangle and type the name of the sheet, for example, data. Select the text, align it to the center, increase the font size, and move it lower inside the shape so you leave some empty space at the top for an icon. Now let's add an icon. Depending on your version of Excel, you may be able to go to Insert and then Icons. If the option is available, choose an icon that matches the sheet. For a data sheet, for example, you can choose an icon related to forms, tables, or documents. Insert the icon, then drag it into the upper area of the button. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to make small adjustments and position it neatly. If you want, you change the icon color to white from the Home tab or the graphics formatting options. Now let's improve the design. Click the icon and add a shadow effect if you like. Then click the button text and add a text shadow as well. After that, click the rounded rectangle itself, right-click it, and choose Format Shape. In the panel on the right, open the Shape options. First, add a shadow effect to the button so it stands out from the background. Then go to the line settings and choose a white outline or another light color to create contrast. Now for the fill, instead of using a solid color, choose gradient fill. This usually gives the button a more modern look. If you see multiple gradient stops, you can remove the extra ones and keep only two if you want a clear effect, let's say a cleaner effect. Place one stop on the left and the other on the right. Now choose one color for the left side and another color for the right side. For example, a purple tone on one side and a reddish tone on the other. If the color feels too strong, you can increase the transparency a little for each side. You can also adjust brightness to make the colors lighter or darker. At this point, your first button is ready. Now let's duplicate it. There is one detail here. The button is made of more than one object because you have the rounded rectangle and the icon. So click the button shape, then hold Ctrl and click the icon too. So both objects are selected. Then press Ctrl C to copy and then Ctrl V to paste. Drag the copy to the side, use the arrow keys to align it neatly, then replace the text, change the icon if needed, and adjust the colors if you want each button to have a different style. Repeat this process until you create all the menu buttons you need. Once all the buttons are ready, you can make them functional. To link a button to a worksheet, right-click the button shape and choose Link. Then choose Place in this document. Now select the worksheet that this button should open. For example, if this is the Data button, select Data Sheet. Then click OK. Now click outside the shape to deselect it. After that, when you click the button, Excel will take you directly to the worksheet. Do the same thing for every menu button so each one opens the correct sheet. Now let's create the back button that will appear on the other sheet. Go to the one of your regular worksheet, click Insert, then Shapes, and choose a shape that makes sense for going back. A left arrow works very well, for example. Click, hold, and drag to draw the arrow, then double click inside and type something like Home Menu. If you want the text on two lines, just press Enter between the words. Now resize the shape and format it the way you want. You can increase the font size, change the fill color, add a white outline, and apply a shadow effect to make it more visible. Once the back button looks good, right-click it and choose Link. Select Place in this document, choose the Home menu sheet, and click OK. Now, whenever you click the arrow, Excel will take you back to the main menu. The good news is that you do not need to rebuild this arrow on every sheet. You can right-click the arrow and choose Copy, or press Ctrl C, then go to the next worksheet, right-click anywhere and paste it, or press Ctrl V. Repeat that for all the other sheets in the workbook. That way, no matter which sheet you are on, you can always click the arrow and return to the main menu instantly. And that's it. This is how you can create a modern navigation menu in Excel with a clean and professional look. It makes your workbook easier to use, easier to present in meetings, and much more impressive visually. I hope this tutorial helps you. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.